The Forgotten Workshop. In the obscure, forgotten corners of the North Pole, where the joyful echoes of Santa's bustling toy factory faded into an eerie silence, there stood a forsaken workshop concealed from the merriment above. This was the dwelling of Shadowflake, the sinister elf of Christmas, a character lost to the annals of Santa's history, left behind and consumed by centuries of bitterness. Shadowflake, once a festive member of Santa's team, found himself dwelling on memories of laughter and joy, now replaced by a festering rage. Abandoned in the old days, he brooded in the darkness, nursing his grudges against the jolly old man who had cast him aside. It was in this secluded workshop that Shadowflake began to speak to himself, the echoes of his malevolent musings bouncing off the cold walls. As the shadows danced around him, Shadowflake's voice, twisted with resentment, reverberated through the workshop.
Shadowflake,
He muttered in a low, sinister tone.
they thought they could forget you, leave you in the shadows. But oh, they will remember. Santa will regret the day he left behind his most mischievous elf.
His own voice became both his confidant and his accomplice as he plotted his revenge.
The children,
He hissed to himself.
they are the key. Their joy will turn to despair, just as mine did when I was abandoned.
Shadowflake's malevolent plans took shape as he envisioned the chaos that would ensue. Moving through the workshop, he began to vocalize his dark thoughts, the sound of his voice twisted and chilling.
Shadowflake shall make them weep, for every tear shed by a child echoes the abandonment he felt. Santa's workshop will crumble under the weight of its own folly.
The workshop, once a hub of creativity and merriment, now echoed with the eerie soliloquy of a forgotten elf.
Shadowflake
He continued.
will weave webs of deception. The laughter of children shall transform into cries of pain as they stumble over hidden traps, their innocence shattered by the vengeful hand of a forsaken elf.
In the dim light of the workshop, Shadowflake's malevolent gleam intensified.
Presents,
He whispered, his voice dripping with malice.
the symbols of joy and goodwill. Shadowflake shall taint them, turn the desired gifts into bitter disappointments. The children will learn the cruelty of anticipation, just as I learned the cruelty of abandonment.
As the sinister elf reveled in his dark fantasies, the workshop became a stage for his twisted desires.
Decorations,
He muttered, his voice filled with disdain.
symbols of a bygone era. Shadowflake will tear them down, scatter them in disarray. The festive spirit will crumble, replaced by discord and strife.
With every uttered word, Shadowflake's internal dialogue grew more elaborate. The workshop, once a hidden sanctuary, transformed into a haven for his vengeful soliloquy.
Santa
He spat out the name like a curse.
will witness the chaos he birthed. Shadowflake's revenge will be the undoing of the festive facade, and the North Pole will quake with the echoes of his malevolence.
The sinister elf, lost in his own twisted monologue, reveled in the power of his words.
Shadowflake
He declared with a wicked grin.
shall be the architect of his own malevolent symphony. The world will shudder as he conducts the discordant notes of vengeance, and Santa will rue the day he abandoned his most cunning creation.
In the depths of the forsaken workshop, Shadowflake's internal dialogue continued, a sinister echo bouncing off the cold walls.
The children will weep, the families will crumble, and Santa's legacy will be stained by the malevolence of a forgotten elf.
His voice, once a mere murmur, now resonated with the conviction of a malevolent orchestrator. As he reveled in the darkness of his thoughts, the sinister elf's monologue extended into the intricacies of his elaborate schemes.
Shadowflake
He sneered.
shall dance in the shadows, unseen and unheard. His vengeance will be a spectacle, a twisted spectacle that will etch his name into the dark annals of Christmas lore.
The workshop, now a canvas for his malevolent artistry, echoed with the resonance of a self-proclaimed avenger.
Shadowflake
He intoned,
shall be the harbinger of chaos, the forgotten specter that haunts the festive dreams of the unsuspecting. The North Pole will bear witness to his malevolence, and Santa will be left to ponder the consequences of forsaking his most cunning creation.
In the silence of the hidden workshop, the sinister elf's monologue reached its crescendo.
Shadowflake
He declared with chilling finality,
will be the shadow that darkens the festive glow. His revenge will be a symphony of discord, a masterpiece of malevolence that will echo through the corridors of Christmas for centuries to come.
As the echoes of his words lingered in the cold air, the forgotten workshop stood as a testament to the sinister elf's descent into darkness. Shadowflake, lost in the labyrinth of his own malevolent musings, persisting in the eerie ritual of self-reference, sculpting a narrative where the very essence of shadows seemed to intone his malevolent name, a solitary figure reveling in the twisted symphony of his vengeful imagination. Return on the morrow, should you summon the courage to tread into the shadows, as the sinister elf's malevolent saga unfolds further. If you dare to revel in this dark delight, pledge your allegiance by subscribing and bestowing your like upon us.